What if I told you that the mimic isn't just copying people's personalities and it's building someone we've been trying to bury for decades? You'd think I'm crazy, but there's absolutely towering evidence of this. Let me explain. It starts at the Security Breach DLC called Ruin, where we play as a little girl called Cassie, who's trying to save her friend Gregory from being trapped in the Megaplex. She finds a walkie-talkie and talks with Gregory some of the time, but there's something very off about it. You see, this isn't Gregory, because in Security Breach, Gregory's canon ending is that he escapes. It's actually the mimic trying to get her to free him from some kind of prison. There wasn't very much lore in this DLC, but I feel like it goes further down than it shows. You see that the mimic wasn't made just to mimic voices. It was made to copy personalities, behavior, motives, and emotions. And it's also very, very self-aware for what it can do. The mimic does need our help setting it free, but I think not in the way we think or expect. And the proof behind the mimic copying everyone's personalities, emotions, etc., is in the Tales of the Pizzaplex with GGY, Tiger Rock, the Mimic, and Lally's Game, all hinting at the Mimic's motives and what it does. The first one I want to have a look at first is the Mimic. Basically, the story in short is that this guy called Edwin Murray makes an animatronic for his son, considering he's been busy. Basically, just imitate his son so they could be best friends. But after his son's sudden death, his father goes into isolation and turns violent, and the animatronic mimics that, and then turns violent and goes to the Pizzaplex, kills a bunch of people, and then someone, I'm not sure who, but traps them into this kind of cave area. But in Security Breach Ruin, we basically free it. So that basically proves that the mimic can copy personalities, emotions, behavior, etc. Fazbear Entertainment has been trying to bring back William Afton for so long. If it's Glitch Trap, the Purple Bunny from Ruin, Burn Trap, over decades. The mimic is more intelligent than we first thought, showing mind controlling powers, shown in the GGY FNAF book. I'm opposing that the mimic is using people to create a more colder, more smarter, more just a better design of William Afton. This theory could be very strong, considering that both the Mimic and Glitch Trap both have digital footprints. In FNAF Security Breach, so-called Gregory has us do multiple things, such as reboot systems, enable systems, do multiple puzzles, fix animatronics, and traverse terrain. I believe that the mimic could be feeding off this data that we give it. There's stuff going back to some of the first FNAF books that were made that could support this theory, such as 3:45 AM and even Sister Location. They all have one thing in common. They all have a connection with William Afton. In 3:45 AM, a girl basically buys a toy from this op shop, and every day at 3:45 AM, it would go off non-stop, alarming her. And basically, she went to the Sister location and got stuck in one of the vents and died there. The toy was hypothetically made by Henry Emily, William Afton's business partner, and that's the same story in Sister Location, where the emo guy tells you about how a girl gets stuck in the vents while you are climbing through the vents. In Security Breach Ruin, Cassie literally gets hunted down by the William Afton code. The mimic is collecting information about William Afton from all the people he can get and all the pre-existing information from his digital footprint, and basically try to make a better William Afton. We even do accuracy tests and puzzle tests in the new Secrets of the Mimic. In Secrets of the Mimic, when you go on the computer, there's a thing called exe.moon. It's basically a game where you need to escape this room without getting jump scared by the moon. You can progress it by getting things in the actual world and putting them in the game, such as the FNAF 4 phone, which you can ring and a child cries saying he never found me, and a plushie that can give you a key to open up the window. The Mimic made this to give us a more complex knowledge of puzzles and to basically solve them. Think of it like Palpatine. Palpatine has been controlling everyone in the Star Wars universe behind the scenes without anyone knowing it. And the Mimic does the same thing. He controls people and manipulates them into getting what he wants. Security Breach's secret ending. You witness Burntrap trying to kill you, but you end up burning the place down. This ending is still very confusing and unexplained, and I think I've solved it. In the FNAF book Storyteller, the Mimic copies people's personalities, and specifically William Afton's. Later on, higher-ups from Fazbear Entertainment inserted William Afton's AI into the Help Wanted game in the universe. So basically just merging the AI with the Help Wanted AI and the William Afton AI. But they didn't just add his AI, they added his actual digital mind. Considering once he was spring locked, the computer chips basically just downloaded his mind. Unfortunately, the Mimic had access to these files. The Mimic merged his and William Afton's softwares together, making it indistinguishable to tell them apart. This made the Mimic start acting with malicious intent and basically just more cold. As we know, the Mimic was trapped under the Pizzaplex, and the resources he had at use, he could have totally made the Burntrap suit. And you might be asking, where did he get the suit from? His own body. You see, Edwin was one of the most top engineers at Fazbear Entertainment, and he even created Foxy, Chica, Spring Bonnie, and Fredbear. Even have official models to Fredbear and Spring Bonnie thanks to the new Secrets of the Mimic game. I myself am more than pleased of how the designs turned out. They honestly just look so good. Burntrap and Spring Bonnie look scarcely similar. Take a look at the details. I've made a list of every single detail that both Spring Bonnie and Burntrap have in common. The chest, the mask, the arms. I believe that Edwin Murray wanted to trap away the Mimic from hurting anyone else, so he decided to do that in the FNAF 6 location. Later on, the FNAF 6 location was being built over by the Megaplex. After Murray finding out about this, he could have 100% put a Spring Bonnie suit over the Mimic to disguise it as just an old costume. I believe he would have done specifically either Fredbear or Spring Bonnie, considering they're both Springlock suits, and people know how dangerous Springlock suits are. The Mimic used that suit to form a new William Afton, but at that time he didn't have enough information, so he mind-tricked a young girl called Vanessa to free him, but she failed. I mean, she did, but she didn't, kind of. She freed the Burntrap suit, but not the Mimic, leaving it in an old recharge station. And I also believe the boss we fight in Security Breach's secret ending is totally the Mimic. Well, what's the proof behind this? Let me explain. In the FNAF book, Seek the Mimic, it tells us about how the Mimic has mind-controlling powers. Edwin went so far as to planting other costumes to disguise the Mimic as just an old rusty costume. We know this by the Security Breach's DLC's Ruin ending, where there's costumes all over the place. I'm pretty sure there's a scooping room also, which could definitely be used as some sort of last defense against the Mimic. We can't use the Mimic in Secrets of the Mimic for much theories, considering it's a few years before FNAF 1, I think, but we can still use it to understand how the Mimic works and use it to give more theories for the now present Mimic. In Secrets of the Mimic, on the microphone, Edwin Murray keeps mentioning how all of the animatronics, all of basically everything is for buy or lease, and William Afton and Henry could have totally gone to Murray and asked for a commission of a Springlock suit. Considering Henry and William Afton's budget, they could have totally done this to get best of both worlds, both animatronic and a suit to play in. Murray probably put the Mimic inside of the Springlock suit because obviously he wouldn't want someone being spring-locked inside of a commission that could probably make him a lot of money. And the Mimic probably did copy Henry and William Afton's personalities. That one's stretching it a little too far, but there's still a possibility. The Mimic is attempting to make a new William Afton, more stronger than Burntrap, Glitchtrap, and Springtrap. We need to understand that
He's not trying to make himself William Afton. He's trying to make a whole new entity that turns into William Afton. In Secrets of the Mimic, there are 3 known endings: the secret ending, the main ending, and the bad ending. The ones I believe that are most likely to be the canon ones are the good ending and the secret ending. I'm not going to spoil them for you, but they're both pretty crazy endings. If, let's say, the good ending is real, and afterwards William Afton gets hold of the Mimic and he tests on him, then the Mimic could even have more information about William Afton. But let's talk about the main ending. The main ending is where you follow the dispatcher's rules and give them the Mimic's blueprints, and you go home, but to your unfortunate surprise, the Mimic is in your car and he kills you. I believe that this is the new Mimic that the old Mimic is going to use to make William Afton new again. This whole time we thought that William Afton was going to come back, but he already did. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave a like. Goodbye.